I see you gather before me. Hungry, terrified, clutching your babes to your breast. Emperor Emir has marched his legions into our lands, laid siege to every fortress from here to the Blue Mountains. Rabid and ravenous, he bites and bites away. Men of the North, you stand at the precipice. Your kings have failed you, so now you turn to the gods. And yet you do not plead. You do not kneel to dust your heads with ash. Instead you wail, why have the gods forsaken us? We must look into the trials we failed long ago. In a time past, our world intertwined with another through an upheaval scholars call the conjunction of the spheres. The gods allowed unholy forces to slip into our domain. The offspring of that cataclysm was the nefarious force called magic. Yet we did not banish it, instead studying the vile arcane for our own power and wealth. And the monsters at our door, the unholy relics of this conjunction. The trolls, the corpse eaters, the werewolves. Did we raise our swords against them? Or have we laid this burden on others? On so-called witches. Stray children taught the ways of foul sorcery, their bodies mutated through blasphemous ritual. Sent to fight monsters, though they could not distinguish good from evil. The flicker of humanity, long extinguished within them. Yes, their numbers have dwindled through the years, but a few still roam our lands, offering their bloody work for coin. To this day, they shame us with their very existence. The North bleeds, flogged by war. The battles are the gods' whip, chastisement for our sins. And let us not forget the terrors, the scourges from beyond our world. The wild hunt rides the sky with every full moon. The Dark Raiders abduct our children into lands unknown. Some say they herald a second conjunction. Can we chart a course back into the light? Will we find the strength to banish the mages from our kingdoms? Unite around the warmth of the eternal fire. Nigh is the time of the sword and axe. None will fight this war in our stead. Nigh is the time of madness and disdain.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I am very excited to play this game for you, and it's going to be awesome. Well, first things first, I noticed that the game is running at 20 frames a second, locked at the menu. I don't know why. But I can't really tweak it if the game is just going to lock the graphics at 20 FPS and it won't go higher. So can't really do much there. But anyways, I heard this game is really good. I heard there's beard physics. I know. To where your beard grows out as you play the game. Freaky, I know. But yeah. Let's start. I think we should go with normal. I heard playing on hardest difficulty is like Dark Souls, and I prefer not to play Dark Souls. So we're gonna go with normal. Show tutorials. I'm gonna simulate the save, even though I have a Witcher save already on my computer. I'm gonna simulate it. Oh my god! You just decapitated a fucking horse! What is wrong with you? Oh my god! Already this is like not for... This is rated 18. Rated M for mature, guys. Is that Yenefer? That looks like Geralt. She's a mage. Now that's the kind of magic I want. Well, obviously that's not Yenefer, right? Maybe. Oh no! Raven! Well, I do hope that when the game actually starts, it'll run at 60 and not 18 frames a second right now. This is a cutscene, so I'm giving it a little bit of a leadway here. There you go. Oh. Oh. Geralt, why? Your leg is very shiny. Geralt, you can get crabs.
You know I don't find that amusing.
Oh my.
It wasn't meant to amuse, but to prod you to hurry. It's midday already. You promised Ciri you'd train with her. Go before Vesemir bores her to death with those etchings.
Are you bathing in oil? Wow, you didn't even dry yourself off.
So,
that must be very uncomfortable.
See you later.
You dress really fast, Geralt. Oh. Never mind. She dressed even faster. Because that was like under a second. I like her eyes. Purpley. Oh, here we go. Actual gameplay. Oh. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt tutorial. Blah, blah, blah. Disable message. Okay. Okay, first things first. The camera's gotta go down. Control settings. Sensitivity needs to go down. Oh, no. In menus is fine. In game, it needs to go down to 50 maybe. There you go. Much better. The mini-map upper right-hand corner, obviously. Okay, I'm getting fucking 40 frames a second indoors. It's not cool. He can jump? Ah. Holding this is,
You're running out of juice.
I know. You might bring me some more once you're done training.
Okay, I'm glad we don't have to ping every 2 seconds anymore. Oh, Ard. I can use Ard on that. And I can use Igni on that. Yep, Ard to put it out and then Igni to light you back up. Okay. Oh my god!
Mountain Pass is beautiful as ever.
Oh my god. Ooh, Geralt. Geralt, baby. Okay. Time for some menu tweaking. So if you wish to see that, continue to watch, I guess. This might take the rest of the thing here. Maximum frame per second, infinite, good. Display resolution, borderless window, NVIDIA Hairworks. Wow, guys! Apparently turning off the hair saves about 5 frames a second. Okay, if I look directly out there, like this, without moving the camera, it's a stable 40 plus frames a second. Is there a child down there training? But if I move the camera around, like so, see, if I move the camera like this, it goes down to about 28 frames a second. So I need to find a good option to where it stays pretty high. Now, I want to see something. I didn't really test that very well. Let's turn that back on. Oh my lord. Okay, if I move like this, okay, it goes down to roughly about 27, 26, hitting 28 at a high, never reaching 30 with the hair like this. Now, what if I just stare at one spot? Does it go up to 40? No, it actually does cost 5 frames a second if I want this beautiful flowing ponytail. Of course I want a flowing ponytail. Duh. So that's a must, right? Number of background characters. Okay. I don't know what that means, but we'll turn that off and see if it saves any frames. Nope, that saves 1 frame. 1 frame a second, not worth it. I don't know what it does. Probably in like a really high, like numerous environment, like a town or a city, it will be more noticeable. Now, the biggest frame dropper for any game is usually shadow. So we will see if I knock shadow downs to completely 0. Does that help? Oh yes. Okay, if I knock shadow down to completely 0, looking at a still spot saves 5 frames a second. Now, do I notice the difference on the shadows? Let's stare at a location to where there is shadows, and then we can compare, okay? Okay, so shadows, it's okay. It's okay. Let's see if we move the shadow back up to high, ultra. I can't tell the difference. Can you guys tell the difference? I certainly can't. Ooh, okay. I might have noticed the difference. If you look at the far out trees, you notice there are shadows out there. So if I turn off the shadow to all the trees out there, my god. Okay. Well, first I already know what I need to do. Graphics. Full screen. I can't deal with borderless window. Enter. Okay. Alright. Now the mouse is actually locked to the screen and not gonna just go everywhere. Okay, let's try turning off the shadows again. No, I can still see the shadows on the way far out. I definitely can't tell the shadow difference, guys. So we're gonna leave shadows off. Ooh, that does look a little bit blotchy down there. Like where that is, if you guys can see that, that does look a little bit blotchy. Let's see, if I turn back on shadows to max, does it still look blotchy? No. Well, yes, kinda. It kinda looks blotchy. So would I notice? Ooh, okay, so lowering it all the way to 0 saves 5 frames a second. What if I lower it to high? Does that also save 5 frames a second? Nope, that saves 4 frames a second. So if I lower it to medium, there you go. 5 frames a second. So medium or low, medium or low, to me, it doesn't look any different than ultra, but if you lower from ultra down to medium, it saves you roughly about 5 frames a second. So I was running at 35, now it's running at 40 when I'm looking at a still spot, and if I move the camera around, let's see. Yep, it goes up to 30 at some points. Not all the time, but some points. The hair physics is definitely the one that is knocking down the frame rate by a lot. So if we can't find another workaround, we're gonna have to mess with that a little bit. Terrain quality, does that help with the frame rate at all? No, actually, if you turn down the terrain quality all the way to low, it actually impacts the frame by about one frames a second. Interesting. So terrain quality affects FPS by 0. So we're obviously going to leave that at ultra. Water quality, there is water down there. Same thing. Same thing. It honestly does not help. It actually hinders the game by about 1 single frame, but you lower it down to all the way to 0, which is very interesting. So keep that at ultra, because that doesn't matter. What about grass density? Now that has to do something to the frames. Even though there's no grass up here. Nope, I lied. Nothing impacting the frame so far. What about indoors? Well, how would grass density affect indoors, right? 46 frames. Okay, let's see. Let's turn that off. Shadow quality to low. Terrain, water, bump that back up. To see if that affects the indoor. Now it's 48. So it went from 46 to 48. Oh, 52 if I look right there. 48 if I look right here. Because of the candles, as you can see. Those knock down a couple of frames because there's more effects on screen. Okay. This is interesting. Now, what if I just bump all that back up? Does that bring down the frames again? Yeah. Now it doesn't reach 48. It reaches 43. So some of the frames are going away. Now, what if I just lower each one of these down to high? Keep that at ultra. Shadow, terrain, and that. Nope, still, it only reaches 43. Interesting. Nope, 46, 43. Okay. Okay. Of course, indoors is going to be what matters most, right? Shadow quality medium. $45. Interesting. Acceptable frame rate. Let's try that. 47. Okay. I am keeping the fucking shadows at a all-time low now. Shadows, definitely not worth it to keep it high. I barely can tell the difference. If at all. Like, I can't tell the difference. So, we're going to keep that at low. Let's see. We have grass density. Oh, texture quality. Here we go. Okay, that actually killed the frame by about 5 frames a second. What the fuck? Nope. Nope, and the door looks disgusting now. Okay, turn it back on. There we go. Much better. And yeah, texture quality impacts the frame by 1 or 2 frames. Not worth it to turn it down. Foliage visibility range. So obviously that'll be out here, right? 48 frames a second. And if I move the camera around, it goes down to 42. Okay. Definitely the foliage one needs to go. Needs to go. I don't need that. Now, how high can I bump it before it actually impacts the frame rate? Let's try high. Okay, high impacts the frame rate by a lot. Actually, no, hang on. It's stabilizing. If I move the camera around now, it stays about 35 frames a second. If I keep the camera still, it stays roughly about 40 to 50 frames a second. Interesting. No wonder the console can only handle this at 30 frames a second. My lord. Okay, I will keep the foliage probably at medium range. Let's see. I want to keep it like a consistent 40 frame plus. If I move the camera around. Come on. There you go. Yup, consistent 40 frame plus. Moving the camera around. This game's not very well optimized. It needs a little bit of tweaking here and there. Okay, detail level. Uh-oh. Here we go. 47. Okay, that does not impact the frame rate outside. Does it impact the frame rate inside? If I stare at this, it goes up to about 50 frames a second average and stays there. Okay. What if I bump up the detail level? To ultra. 50 frames a second, stay there? Yes, 50 frames a second, stay there. So, there you go. So this is the graphic setting that I recommend to everyone. Maximum frame per second, obviously unlimited. Why would you limit that in any sort of way? You're not playing on a console. I recommend, obviously that needs to be medium, because low and medium does not impact the frame rate by any. Yep, it still stays at 50 frames a second looking still. Let's go outside. Actually, now that bumps it down to about 35 frames per second when I move the camera around. Acceptable, you know? It looks better than a console, but it runs just about the same as a console. Acceptable. Acceptable. I can work with that. If I bump this down to low, that should help the frame rate even more, in my opinion. But let's put it this way. This is probably the most graphically intense scene you're ever going to see in The Witcher 3. Right here. I highly doubt we're ever going to see anything more graphically intense than this. Yep. If you bump it down to low, it keeps it at a 40 plus frames a second, even when you move the camera around. I like it. Oh, do you see that? That was a huge lag there. When the camera got stuck in the wall and it like... I can't replicate it. Okay. So we're going to keep that at low. I don't think we're going to need it to be on medium. Well, I can work with 30 frames a second. I can work with that. Okay. Now that's done with. We're going to work on gamma. Okay. Until the image is barely visible. It's already not visible right here. Like, that's barely visible right there. Oh my lord. Okay, we're gonna do it this way then. You see that, like, weird grayish shimmer? That's artificial lighting. Don't want that. Don't want that at all. We're gonna go to gamma. We're gonna decrease this. Probably to about here-ish. There you go. Still a little bit of artificial lighting. We're gonna turn it down even more. We do have a cat potion just in case, right? I can still see a little bit of artificial lighting up there. Can you see? I see it? Like that gray shimmer in the background. I don't want that. I want that off. So we're going to keep lowering this until it's off. It's probably here. There you go. It's gone. It's gone. You guys don't see the gray shimmer anymore, right? Yep. So that's the point that you guys need to put your setting at, your light setting, for it to remove the weird gray filter on, to make it everything a little brighter. And this does help the frame rate too, because everything is darker. The game doesn't, your computer doesn't have to render so much. It does help the frame rate a little bit. Okay, let's make sure everything is where they're supposed to be. Very good. I might turn down the details to high. Does that help on the outside? Nope. Doesn't help at all. Still stays at 50 on the outside and inside. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not that. Okay, now after this, we're going to work on the post-processing stuff. Let's see. We turn HBAO down. Oh, wow. This is the first game to where the HBAO Plus does not affect the frame rate while turning that back on. On bloom, sharpening, chromatic aberration. I don't know what that is. Turn these off. Oh no, not that. Chromatic, whatever. Does it affect the frame rate at all? Nope. Staying at a consistent 50. So I don't think these options really affect the frame rate any. I hate depth of field. I hate blurs. All those need to go away. Anti-aliasing usually do it. And sharpening too. I can already see the jaggedness. And it doesn't help the frame rate. So no use doing that. Oops, not that. And aliasing that. Okay. So that's it. This is a setting that I recommend you guys go with. There you go. Shadow quality down to medium and foliar visibility down to medium. And you should get roughly a consistent 50 frame plus at most scenes. If you're standing still, if you're moving, you should be getting roughly about 40 plus frames a second everywhere. Acceptable. And I'm running this on a 980. Okay, my computer isn't the best, but it's up there with the best. So, yeah. So this is setting. Oh, and I highly recommend you reduce the gamma down to roughly about here-ish. Okay, because that removes the weird lighting filter that is put over everything. All right. So that's the first video, guys. The introduction to the game and messing with the menu system, basically. Oh god, that looks hideous. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. Geralt. Fine, sexy beast you are.